Hello, soul friends. This is Miriam. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be about the week ahead, which I had one for last week. It didn't get posted in time last week. And so then I did another one for this week, had it all ready to go, and then it didn't work. It stopped working. So we're going to do it again. So I don't know if all those other people's guides are going to come back in to weigh in or what's going to happen. But apparently we didn't need those other messages. We need these ones. So remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or it is simply your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. No matter how you look at that, it is healthy and you are in the right place. So today we are going to be live shuffling this deck to pick your piles. This deck over here is our tarot deck we're going to be using. I do not have a box for it. It came with a bag. So I will put a link to the title and the description of this card deck in the description box. I'm sorry, I just can't remember what the heck this... Sorry, now I'm organizing my desk in front of you. I don't remember the names to all these decks that didn't come with boxes, so I apologize for that. A lot of times they'll put a card in there and then I keep the card under the... I don't know. Anyway, this is the oracle deck we will be using. I believe you can get this on Amazon now, but she started off as a pretty small business, so I'm going to go ahead and still link Terry Foss's business in the description box. All right, well, let's pick your piles all about the week ahead. I only want one card per pile today. Okay. Just kidding. Two. I guess I should ask the guides before I make declarations such as this. Like, this is going to be the only pile I'm going to make. They're like, oh, okay. So let's go ahead and scooch these up. I also feel bad because the description boxes of the latest videos that I've done have no descriptions in them except for the timestamps right now. And that's because I don't have any of the boxes to any of the stuff, so I have to go on to like Etsy or wherever I bought the deck and try to figure out where is it and what is it called. Yeah, good times. Or I have to go find another video that I used it in before and just grab it from there, and I will find a way to make that mazy and not efficient for time. That is for sure. Let's go ahead and get you, some charms. These are miniature ornaments, but they're really heavy for like a tiny little tree, and they're very small for a big giant tree. But they are perfect for laying them down for cards. We have 4. I'm not going to look in my hand. I'm just going to grab them out. Number 1, you got Santa. I believe in Santa right now. What's that from? Still hurting my feelings. I've been doing this channel for years now, and nobody knows my quotes. Group 2, you got the little stocking hat. We grabbed this out of the bag last time, I believe, and maybe it was group 2 again. Group 3, you got the stocking with the green toe and heel. Pretty much this set has no charms that are the same. They're all different, and I love it. And group 4, you got this cute little Christmas tree. Look how cute that is. See, I could also like put little chains on these and wear them as necklaces if I wanted to, so that's kind of fun. Okay, anyway. Got little rings on them, yeah. Alright, so here are your piles. Go ahead and pause if you need, and we will see you in your individual readings. Bye. Hi, group 1. So if you picked a Santa... Believe in Santa right now. Oh, I moved your little rock tray there. That was silly of me. So yeah, I was trying to make this look all different because I changed our little anchor to this cute little tree. Okay, and I don't know how long this cute little tree is gonna last before it gives up the ghosts. Its brothers and sisters have already all given up. So we will see how long. And then, depending on how long, yeah. All right, so you have your Santa. That I feel like you definitely believe in him now. I feel like there might be somebody in this group that like didn't know that Santa, the Santa thing, until you were like a lot older than the other kids, and it was like a big shock. I won't spoil it. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. The Santa thing. Interesting. Okay, we just got an extra little message for you because this fell out of the bag. The moon card, right, is always in tarot about like fear of the future, using your intuition, trusting your intuition, maybe things being hidden from you, not being able to see everything totally clearly, but you soon will. That I feel like is coming through for this group. So trust your intuition this week for sure. All right. Blissful. Well, that sounds nice, doesn't it? I love this card. The artwork on these cards are just amazing. And nature. Also loving this card. Beautiful. Okay. This is interesting. I think that some of you are going out into the wilderness this week for something. Or going outdoors in some way. So like, I am picturing people going out and getting like Christmas trees, but we are getting kind of late in the month as I'm filming this. So, maybe it's a spur of the moment going and picking something out, or something about being connected to nature. Like there was this old, like maybe going out into, okay, a couple of things flashed into my mind, like going to one of those little, like ice caves, like natural things, but they're cool in the winter time to go in and check them out. And so it's like one of the things you can do in the winter when you're outdoorsy that you can't, because you can't really go hiking and anything unless you become like one of those mountaineers that likes to really put your life in danger and go out when the weather is like really, really bad and the animals are really, really hungry. I would not. That's just me. But anyway, I feel like some of you are, though. You're getting out into nature and that's like where your bliss is. So you are going out into nature this week. Maybe you're on vacation, maybe not. But the nature trip and the bliss that it's going to bring you is definitely the main thing that your guides are bringing up. So if you're not planning on doing anything outside at all, there might be something in here for you. I'm just not seeing like work stuff. There could be work, but it seems like this is more the sole focus of this week for this group. So I hope that helps. Let's get you some tarot. One card for each day of the week. And of course I picked the biggest deck of cards to do that. We have the Nine of Swords. I don't know why that made me think of a video where this guy was lifting weights, but like they were like loose, like he was like trying to hold on to them with his toes and just lift those big flat round weights by himself. And I was nervous because his dog was over next to the like bench, and I was worried that things were gonna slip off his toe and like hit his dog. And if you've ever had weights drop on you, I have. It sucks. The guy pulled weights off of the thing that weren't hooked, and like all three of them just slid right off the pole and landed on me. And it sucked. So anyway, like big flat circle weights landed right on my head. I turned to the side, otherwise they would have got my face. Like it was like in a bedroom and like when we were in high school, and the one side of the barbell kind of hung over the kids' bed that we were all sitting on, like playing video games. And yeah, good times. Good times with head injuries. Okay, moving right along. So, Nine of Swords for the first day. But, oh yes, we're going to do the overall energy first. So, Four of Cups. Six of Pentacles. Seven of Wands. I like that. Okay, and there's the last three. We're gonna have to layer these a little bit because You will not be able to see them all. Okay. All right, so we have 9 of Swords, 4 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. If I would have seen that without the words on it, I would have immediately thought it was the wheel. So good thing they put little words on their cards so that little me's don't get confused. Ugh, okay, don't worry, we'll get to it eventually. Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles, the 2 of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. Okay. And don't worry, I'll pull those up so we can look at them a little bit as we go further on in the week. Okay, so I feel like some of you are a little bit anxious because maybe you have to go to work for a while before you get to go on this blissful nature walk that you're going on, whatever it is. You seem to be really into it. Which, if you hear the sound in my voice, I'm like, I don't understand. I'm just kidding. I grew up in the woods and in the country, but because of my health, it was always a rough time. And so I do not do it now. And so growing up with like people, a lot of times I got dragged out. And so I feel like for you, that's not what happened to you. You like go out to find your bliss. And so I feel like some anxiousness, like maybe you are, I don't know, maybe you're just one of those people that gets worried before a big, event, even if it's like a positive thing. I do that. Anytime I'm gonna break the mold of what my normal everyday day entails normally, I start to get nervous. And so I do feel that coming through for some. For others, I feel like you just can't sleep well. But I feel like you're going to catch up on that sleep when you get to go to your bliss. So with the 4 of Cups, the 4 of Cups can be about boredom. It can be about like not seeing what's right in front of you because you're focused on, I was sitting there trying to like focus in on these little houses back here, but that's just how the card is. They're blurry. These are focused. Man, I forgot to wear my reading glasses. Just kidding. I don't wear reading glasses. Not yet anyway. I have to wear driving glasses. But anyway, your guides are showing that while you're waiting to get to your bliss, that you might miss out on things around you because of like not being like satisfied in the present area of where you are. This feels like work or whatever your obligations are before you get to go do your bliss. Okay. So I don't know, like, it was the last day before Christmas break was always a nightmare, like stuff like that. Everybody gets very individually like concerned for what they're doing and not so much what everybody else is doing, right? And so I feel like you're just wanting to get out. You're going to feel a little more balanced as you move towards the middle of the week with the 6 of Pentacles. Your finances are in good shape this week. And you're going to overcome, the challenges of this or any other challenges that should face you as long as you step up to them this week. Oh, hang on. Somebody's coming through saying that for someone who is really excited to go on this little blissful vacation or trip to nature, whatever it is, your guides are saying that there might be somebody come up and say, hey, you can't, you got to do this instead. And they're saying to fight them on that. Not fight them. Don't do an Irish discussion. I can say that because I'm Irish. But, and the people that said that to me were Irish, talking about Irish discussions. We also have weird Irish penicillin whiskey. But anyway, the 7 of Wands is about overcoming challenges that face you, but they won't be overcome if you don't face them. And so it feels like nothing that's going to be huge. But like, for example, years and years and years ago, I had concert tickets to go see Korn, my favorite band. And then I lose half my subscribers. I like new metal, all right? I mean, I probably don't. I just probably like Korn. But anyway, I keep trying to say corn so that people don't think I'm saying another type of entertainment. Like my students always thought I was. I was like, I like corn. And they're like, what did you just say? It's like, it's interesting. That's the first thing you wanted me to say, but okay. Teenagers, they think of the darndest things. But it was like a situation where I had tickets to go see Korn, and then I got summoned to do jury duty, and I was like, of course, God hates me, the world hates me, I'm just gonna never get to see. It was like gonna be my first concert that was actually somebody I cared about. The other ones I'd been to, like, just were concerts that I didn't care about who was playing, And so, this is like my favorite band. I'm actually finally gonna get to see live. And like, I'd been listening to them since I was a kid. I didn't see them live till like 2013, so they've been around since the 90s. And this jury duty summons really felt like that was just going to take it away. It wasn't going to happen. And then a very nice lady at work said, well, write a letter and just say that I already have bought tickets and this plan is already planned. We already paid for a hotel, etc. And we had. And so I sent in the letter, and sure enough, they excused me. I couldn't believe it. And then they excused me later this year because of my health stuff. So that's good. But yeah, at the time, my health stuff wasn't as triggery as it is now. So anyway, something like that. Sorry, that was such a long story to get that point across to you. But I was trying to like make it seem like it's not an emergency. Like, I feel that anxiety rising when we keep talking about these challenges facing you. This bliss that you're headed towards is so important to you. Okay, I just got a little note in there that somebody's going to see somebody that they care about. And nothing feels more natural to you than being with that person. Isn't that just gross? Okay, but to each their own. Nasty. And once you overcome these challenges and step up to them, which you will. So I feel like the challenges facing you are the ones that can be like negotiated, not the ones that are like, you gotta fight with people verbally, right? I've had both kinds with that type of same situation, where you're like, hey, I can't make it. I've got to go to this other thing. And your boss is like, no, you've got to go. And you're like, you're not the boss of me in every aspect of my life, including my day off. Captain Jerky Jerkface. Is that what you call your boss? Tell me what you call your boss in the comments section. I won't tell him. Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles is all about new beginnings, feeling refreshed, feeling renewed, making it to your goal. And then once you've made it to that goal, then it's just the beginning to the next cool stuff. Okay. So your guides are showing that you're easily going to overcome any challenges that come up. So don't let that raise your anxiety. I'm seeing no one bugging you. You're not bugging anyone else. Same type of deal. No hard feelings with anyone that you have to like put your foot down to get to go, whatever those challenges are, those people that come into your challenge section here. I'm not seeing any damage being done either way in the light of that. And then last but not least, we have the Ace of Cups, which is finding your bliss. It's a bliss card. And you're going to just, at the end of the week, just be like, I made it to that goal that you were looking for. I'm not going to break it down day by day because, as you can see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you're doing it that way, if you're doing it a different way because you don't work a traditional week, that is totally fine. It just seems like this week you've got something coming up that has to do with your bliss and nature that you want to happen, and you don't want to sit through the dreary stuff that you've got to do beforehand because you're so excited about getting to where you want to go. And then the challenges that come up are going to stress you out extra because you don't want anything threatening this bliss you're headed towards. This happy, happy moment. Okay. With that, I shall leave you. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye-bye-bye. Hi, group 2. Sorry if you heard my TV. I forgot to pause it. I'm watching Love Actually. It's actually pretty terrible, but that means it's right up my alley. For what I like to do during the holiday season, which is watch every movie I can that has a Christmas tree in it somewhere. It doesn't even have to be about Christmas. It can just be a movie set during that time, and I'm still going to watch it because that puts me in the festive holiday spirit. So does wearing festive holiday colored clothing and themed clothing. Just giving you some little tips. Maybe some of you already do this. Do you do that? Get yourself into that holiday spirit of like, like maybe you wear a cute little Santa hat. I have a cute little Santa hat. I've had it for years, darling, years. Okay. The week ahead, evolve. Oh, yeah. See, I knew you were some kind of a person who might dress for the seasons. It doesn't have to be, but like those of you who do dress for the seasons, there's that feeling of evolution when you dress for the season that you're in. And the reason why I think that is because you're changing with the times. You're like agreeing with where you're at and where time is with you and what time of year it is. And that's actually very healthy. I don't actually know if that's true, but it feels good. So it seems like this week there's going to be a lot of evolution for you. But I feel like that's like par for the course. You're always evolving. Okay. But say you're evolving in a special way, like maybe you're getting a tattoo and evolving that way. Maybe you're getting some kind of makeover or, haircut or hairstyle or whatever, that is going to be something that helps you evolve. It feels very much like an appearance type thing. So like glow up vibes. But I feel like overall your guides are saying that this group is just very good at evolving with time, moving along with the times. Like I don't see this group of people getting twisted up over like elections or I don't know, gas prices fluctuating. Like, I mean, they feel it. They probably don't like it if it's high, right? But at the same time, like, they evolve with the times. And that's, how they survive and how they have survived up to this point and how they've retained peace and happiness within their hearts. Very nice. So this week you're going to be evolving extra maybe, or you're just going to be focused on that. Let's see what this card says. Balance. Okay. So there might be some balance coming up this week between you wanting to evolve and people wanting things to stay the same. That's coming through. Once again, doesn't feel like the end of the world, life crisis things. Okay. Because we don't read about those on here unless something comes up and I absolutely have to say it because the guide just won't shut up about it. No offense, guides. Thanks for being here. They're all standing around me like, God, you're a jerk. I like to pretend that the guides, when they're like out there feeling for channels to get to like their people and give them messages, that they like see the Miriam channel and they're like, not that one. Do I have to? Okay, but here we are. You gotta use the channel that's clear, the channel that works, and sometimes it's me. So, but yeah, the balance between things staying the same and you evolving all the time. I feel like a work thing this week. I feel like there's some kind of thing that they've been doing at work for the same way, like for the last 30 years, and it's inefficient in your view and you would like it to go away, but the traditionalist types are like, you don't get to change how it is here. I feel like some seniority bias. I feel some like resistance to change bias. And so what your guides are showing with this is that you're going to have to find a balance between like the ones that won't budge and like the areas where you want to evolve. Okay. And that I think is what they're going to get into on how we're going to maneuver through that, because that's just not like cut and dry. That's not super easy to do or just know how to do it. But they are saying that's the balance that needs to be struck this week, is between you kind of pulling back the need to change and evolve a little bit to balance out people that are around you this week who don't want anything to change. I also just got a flash of some family. Some family might not like change. I think it was, like some families, like you bring home a significant other to them and they're all just like, tell us everything about yourself. Where you from? What's your family doing? I don't know why they live in Jersey, but here we are. And then there's the types that are just like automatically like cold and snotty to you because they don't want the dynamic in their house to change. They don't like that you're there for Christmas. They don't like that you're, when you're with your significant other who's related to them, they do different things now than they used to do all together as a family. That kind of stuff is coming in as well. Man, this time of year, if you're watching this during the time that I'm filming, who knows whenever I'll upload it because my computer's been so awful. But like this time of year just brings that stress home of that family dynamic, especially with in-laws and mixed families, where it's like, oh, this would be a lot more fun and enjoyable if everybody would just shut up. Stop being jerks. Okay, so that came through. So a balance between you evolving and someone else or someone else's, that was not correct, around you who don't want to change. That's your big hurdle this week, it looks like. So let's go ahead and get you some tarot. These cards are huge. This desk is small, so we're just going to do the best we can. We have the Three of Swords. Yes. The Ace of Wands. I would have wanted a doll that looked just like this. That crown. Amazing. Okay. King of Wands. Yeah. That dude looks like look at his hair. Man. Let's take his hair vitamins. Ace of Swords. Three of Wands. Nine of Wands. Sorry, we have to scooch these over here, but we'll get to them, I promise. And the High Priestess. Very, very nice. Okay. Alrighty, let's look and see. So, finding balance between evolving and people who won't. This is not just like a meeting to you. This is not just we had a meeting and I'm disagreeing with the fact that, we're going to do that this quarter instead of next quarter or whatever, right? We've always done it next quarter, not this quarter. It would be more efficient if we did it this quarter. That kind of stuff. It doesn't just mean that to you. Like, it means something more to you. Like, you actually, care about it. You feel like, I can't think of an example outside of myself. So I guess I'll just use that as an example. So there were times when we'd be haggling at work when I was a teacher about what day do we have Christmas break start on? The week before Christmas or the week of Christmas? And all these people are like, we need to travel. It's not fair. And I was like, I don't care. I hate coming back that late or that early after the new year because all my family's still off. And rah, 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 rah. That would be what I would consider a not serious thing. Like whoever wins, wins. And whoever doesn't, well, your vacation just isn't as cool as everybody else's is or whatever. But this feels more along the lines of, I don't know, one day you have a meeting and they're like, we can't use your old books anymore. Here are the new curriculum for English that are coming down the pike that everyone's going to have to use. Everyone, Miriam, this is happening, right? And then they look at you like, if you don't help make this happen, you're a bad, bad person who doesn't care about teaching kids. So you get that little thing thrown in. And I know that other workplaces do that. They always act like whatever you're doing is more noble than it actually is. We care about our clients, when really it's just an advertising, we care about them, that they care about us, we care about them, and we care about money. And you would not believe how much the education stuff cared about money, just in different ways. So anyway, this would be more along the lines of changing your whole curriculum that you've been teaching for the last 10 years and you weren't ready for them to, or making you do the same thing again. Maybe there's this I'm thinking of an outdated practice that the school that I worked at did that everybody freaked out about. was freshman initiation was still going on. It was totally voluntary. Like kids didn't get to just like pick on whoever they picked. Freshmen had to like join up with the older kids, and they ended up making friends with them. It was like way less humiliating and more interactive. And I honestly didn't see them doing anything too rough. But because it was 20 whatever teen, and a lot of people were aware of the fact that out in the big wide world, other people don't do that anymore. And so we need to change it, right? It needs to go away. And so then the traditionalists were like, we don't want to change it. We've always done it this way. And they're like, it's just a matter of time before things get out of hand and something bad happens. That's why they stopped doing them everywhere. They're just going to do it anyway. That kind of stuff. That gets a little more heated because it's not just about scheduling. It's about like, it was about the welfare of the children, right? Or the welfare of the company or the welfare of whatever. It might even be like a global thing. Like, I don't want to say those words because I feel like they're offensive and I will never say them. Those kinds of deals also are coming up for this energy of Three of Swords. Like, this balance that you're trying to strike is like painful for you. It feels like a sacrifice that you have to make to not be able to evolve to the point that you want to. And I totally get it. It sucks when you have to hold still when like the only way you see to go forward is like being blocked off by everybody else. And you're like, I care about this. Why? That definitely is something that's coming through. But the first card we got was evolve. The next card we got was balance. So like, this is your guides telling you are going to pull this off and figure out how to do this. But since it's, the beginning of the week, you're just going to have a little hiccup there of like, maybe that's when the news comes in of their decision. Maybe, that kind of thing. Ace of Wands is about that beginner energy, like feeling like, okay, I'm open and willing to try new things. Maybe I'll like them better. Maybe I want to like learn how to do something new and then master that in some way. So it's almost like you're saying, okay, well, if you're going to change the curriculum from this type to this, then I'm going to find a new cool spin to do it the new way. And therefore I can still evolve. Or if we're going to stay the same, I'm going to find some new things to do within that same time frame or activity to help push it towards evolution. If that makes sense. So, for example, I don't know, I guess if they didn't change and take away freshman initiation and you really wanted them to, you could go be the voice of reason of the person, the educator that warns them, remember, don't do anything weird to each other. Don't put us on the 6 o'clock news, guys. We don't even have news out here, so if we make the 6 o'clock news, oh, something crazy went down. Or just something interesting enough that they made it go viral for some reason. So like new wonderful energy of trying new things. Like you're going to actually try on their perception of the people that you are disagreeing with. The people that stay the same, you're going to actually like, it's not like you're devolving down to their level or anything like that. You're just kind of seeing things from where they are and finding positives in that space. Okay. The King of Wands shows you mastering that very quickly. It almost is like maybe even just hearing those words, you're like, oh, I can do that, and the tension just kind of left already for some of you. For others, something's going to pop in your head to make you not care about it either. And you're going to be like, what, I don't need to get all twisted. I'm evolving all the time, whether these guys choose to or not, and that's up to them. Or I'm evolving all the time, even if this situation isn't ready to yet. Okay. And you still move forward and evolve. I mean, that's evolving right there from like the beginning of the story to the end. The Ace of Wands is about a new beginning, right? The King of Wands is like seasoned. He's been in this place for a while. The Ace of Swords also came in. And this is about truth. It's about new chances, about doing things kind of differently. And so it's like you're going to find your groove of how to find that balance. It's going to come to you. And that way you don't have to get so knotted up emotionally when things don't go the way that you feel like is the right way for them to go. And everybody goes through that. And the bigger heart you have and the more you care, the more it happens to you. I am very convinced. Okay. And the more people take advantage of that at work, let me tell you what. But yeah, learning to talk differently. Truth is a big part of this card as well. 3 of Wands is about plans going through in the way that you planned them. A long wait coming to an end. Things falling together. Something arriving that you've been waiting for. So if you've been waiting for like a package in the mail, it might get here this week. Your guides say not to sacrifice too much, though, to get that balance. Okay. It's a lot easier sometimes to be the bigger person and say, okay, I'm not going to fight you for this, Charlotte, you go ahead. Let's do it your way, Charlotte. Right? It's fine. And everybody's like, but are you sure? And you're like, it's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. Let's go ahead and just do this and get it over with. Right? But at the same time, they're saying not to do that so much that you end up paying more than them, that you end up having to not devolve, but stay stifled because they weren't ready to go forward. Okay. So if you can't find the way forward in this trail, find another way forward in a different, separate way. Yeah. Finding something different in a separate way. Like one of the things I started doing to be more social or to feel more normal was to get tattoos all over me, because it's something I can go do that I don't usually run into a lot of the health issues that I have to run into all the time. Because they're not usually things at the tattoo shop that I'm allergic to or that I have these weird reactions to. And so I started doing it because it made me feel normal, just for even just the hours that I'm in that chair. I'm just a normal freak getting a tattoo. Nobody would ask me weird, stupid questions, right? Until they did, but stuff happens and you just find another shop and you're good. So they're saying not to sacrifice too much of yourself to make that balance happen. And it feels like intuitively with this last card, the High Priestess, that you are going to find that middle road and that you will find that balance. And with that, I shall leave you to go start your week. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, we'll see you the next one. Take care. Bye. Hi, group 3. So if you picked the cute little stocking with the green feet, I feel like some of you like that shade of green, like you might use it in decor. Some of you. Not all, but some. All right, let's go ahead and see what's going on for you for that week ahead. We have the Earth card with Fox energy. And the Devoted card. Okay. Sorry, something was coming through that was dragging out my attention there. Okay. So what I'm seeing here with the Earth card is your guides are definitely saying that you need to stay grounded this week, that you need to be down to earth. Don't let yourself catastrophize or... what's the opposite of catastrophizing? I don't know, because I only do catastrophizing. I know there's a word for it, but I can't think of what it is because I'm such a negative person. Don't build it up too much is what I'm trying to say. Somebody tell me what that word is if you can think of it. If I think of it during this reading, I'm going to blurt it out. Looking at things with rose-colored glasses. I know there's a word for it. But anyway, like staying grounded and down to earth and not going over the top is what your guides are saying you need to do this week. I'm not saying that you go over the top all the time. I'm just saying that's what your guides are saying not to do emotionally. So like it might, let me tell you, like you could be like the most calm person in the world and people are like, oh, they're the nicest person. They would never even say boo to a fly or whatever people say. But at the same time, people who don't express and act out still have feelings. And I feel like a lot of times they have really strong feelings that they just keep inside all the time. I'm not one of those people. It would probably be less annoying if I was, but I'm not. I'm pretty old now. I don't think I'm going to change. I think it's getting worse. But I also can ground myself when I need to, okay? And I can also stay down to earth, kind of, but it takes some reminding on my part of like, where are you going there, Miriam? You're starting to catastrophize. Idolize, that's what it is. Thank you, whoever gave me that, because gosh, I could not remember what that word was. Okay, so staying grounded, and then something about devotion. Some of you are very devoted to your partners. Some of you are very devoted to just like, I'm just going to like call it what it is, like the things or the people or the pets that you love the most. That is where your devotion is top tier of. That's where you put all of your energy. It's where you put all the reserves of strength for. It's sort of like how your brain works inside your body. Your brain will abandon even all your other vital organs to try to keep itself safe. Okay. It's a selfish section of your body. But obviously, if there's no computer running, then who's to know what's going on? And so your body will also sacrifice itself for your brain. And that's why addiction is so crazy. But anyway, I don't remember who I was watching that was saying that. And I was like, oh, snap, that's true. But you're devoted to whatever you care about the most. So I don't want to go into all the scenarios like, you know what you care about most. Otherwise, I start rambling on about stupid stuff, sounding like a dork. I always sound like a dork. Devoted. Stay grounded. Okay, so like I feel like maybe sometimes you feel like threatened of like having those that you're devoted to or what you're devoted to being taken from you, or it not being taken care of enough that something bad happens to it, you know? Like me worrying about my cats every time I go out of town. These cats see me, they see their owner more than most people, you know, more than most people see their families, obviously, but they see me more than most pets see their owners. Like, I can go a long time without going anywhere. And thank God I have those reserves, because oftentimes I can't go anywhere. And so, you know, anytime I do go, it's a big deal for them and it's a big deal for me, right? So, but I can stay grounded. It's just that I'm so devoted to them that I can catastrophize. And while I'm out in the world, I can imagine all these horrible things that are happening with them. And really, realistically, if I grounded myself and really put it out there, I was like, what are they most likely doing? Well, they're probably, you know, they probably cried for a while trying to figure out where everybody went. And then they all hunkered down and went and took naps. And usually that's what wakes them up, is us coming home, you know? So it's like, a bunch of your cards just fell right out when I did that. So let's go ahead and keep those for you. But, yeah, just staying grounded, not catastrophizing. Even if the worst does happen, then you just worried about it twice. Also healthier for brains to just sit and think about the good part happening, okay? The good stuff happening. The outcome turning out well. Why am I putting these away? We still have more cards to shuffle. All right, so let's start with the ones that popped out first. We have Queen of Cups. The World. This is an interesting little deck of cards. I don't even know how you would describe it. It reminds me of like, you know, like models. I guess that's what it would be, huh? Justice. Five of Swords. Eight of Swords. We got our last two. Okay. Took me a second to count. Because I'm looking through my camera. Sorry. And I can't see jack squat when I look through my camera. Okay. Maybe I should stop. Eight of Pentacles. and 6 of Wands. Okay, I'll put this over here for now, but I'll get it later at the end. So overall for the week, staying grounded when thinking about stuff you're very devoted to, when you're thinking about taking care of it. You are very emotionally invested in whatever that devotion is, okay? I'm definitely feeling wedding vibes. Gross, but it doesn't have to be. But yeah, I rock that energy with my marriage, or at least I try to, okay? And so I feel like your entire emotional well-being is somehow wrapped up into that thing or those persons or those beings that you're so devoted to, and that's okay. Yeah, and then something comes along that makes you feel like, and I'm not thinking like, oh, something comes along that makes you feel like you're going to lose your whole family. You're going to lose the one thing you've always been devoted to. Nothing like that. But something will come along this week. Something's coming along that feels changey. So like, for instance, I got an image popped into my mind of a parent that, you know, their daughter started dating a person they didn't really approve of. And like, I don't blame them. The guy's kind of a jerk, you know, that kind of thing. Red flags across the board, but the girl just didn't see it, you know? And so that's what it kind of feels like. And like, nothing bad happened with the guy. She just, you know, they weren't right for each other. Then they broke up. Right. But your guides are showing that, you know, your way of life coming to an end, even in a small way, can feel very, very upsetting. It can feel like things aren't going to be okay, right? It can make you feel like you need to like step it up to protect what you've had before. But sometimes things just change and there's not really anything to be done about it. It's not a bad thing, maybe not even a good thing. It's just change, right? So I feel like, yeah, maybe somebody brought a girlfriend or a boyfriend home that you're kind of like, ick, you know, I don't like them. I don't want this to happen. And it kind of freaks you out because you're devoted to that kid who's dating that person you don't approve of. Those kinds of issues. I feel like it's something you can't even really discuss or talk about because you know that like it'll just blow it out of proportion. And people will be like, you don't like it, blah, blah, blah. And that's not just that scenario. I'm feeling that across the board for all the scenarios. But you worry about it affecting you so much that you feel like there needs to be something done about it. You feel like if it didn't work out, whatever this week is bringing for you, that's so important to you, that it wouldn't be fair if something were to come along and mess that up. So you start worrying about either somebody not looking out for you, or you immediately start pulling in your reserves towards yourself and being like, I'm taking care of myself. F these guys, like they all want to go down the, you know what, then let them, right? As long as I've got me, I'll be fine. And that is something that can take up some energy and kind of get you stuck in that 8 of Swords where like you don't know how to move forward, you don't know how to move back, okay? And then it's going to take some time to kind of like put your head down and move forward again from that. We also have, for the end of the week, the 6 of Wands. And this is a good thing. Because I feel like right now you're like, this week sucks. It's not that bad. Remember, we don't do catastrophic readings here. Don't catastrophize the reading. And then just then I started to catastrophize. I was like, what if something catastrophic does happen? Well, probably, yeah, like, you know, a few hundred people that tune in every so often, yeah, something eventually is going to catastrophically happen to each and every one of us. But this week it feels more like, you know, and something might happen this week for some. But this week, for the overall message your guides are giving me, is that something is coming along that makes you feel a little bit ick or threatened emotionally. And so your whole main goal is to ground yourself back up into the idea of like, this isn't really probably going to be the end of the world, you know, this can be something that can be worked out. Sometimes things change and there's nothing we can do about it. I used to always, actually I still do, I'm just going to tell you a little confession. I still, to this day, Whenever somebody decides to like make a big life step that they weren't doing before, I go, no. Especially if I liked where they were before. Okay. Me in my life, somebody who can get a hold of me easily and they don't have a bunch of obligations that I don't have, like family, right? I have a marriage that I'm very obligated to, but like we do not have children. We have cats that we're very devoted to, but we don't have like to raise them for 18 years and then send them out into the world to like go make things and do stuff with themselves, you know? Like, I said that totally backwards. I was meant to say to go out and do things and make things of themselves. I can hear the kid in the back row. What were they doing? That's another thing we should start doing. Call me out like a high school boy would if I say something that sounds sexual, even though it's not. Call me out on it. I can't hear you giggling, so you're just going to have to comment. You can put tee hee hee in the comments and I'll know. Or just quote what sounds bad. Just put the quote and everybody will be like, what is this channel about? It's so funny. But like the best part that they don't tell people is that in junior high and elementary school, when they laugh at something like that, the teachers are like, don't you laugh at that, it's not okay. And like then in high school, the teachers either just like completely just, they're just not even phased, they're never phased by it, but they either just like shrug their shoulders and don't give the kids any like fodder to keep amping them up, and they kind of, it just fizzles out right there, or just laugh with them. You know, we didn't celebrate it and keep repeating what was said, but I mean, if like something came out funny and then everybody noticed, including me, and we all go, ooh, then we'd all just start laughing. I just laughed with them. I'm sure there's plenty of parents out there that are like, that's wrong. Don't care, but anyway, you fire me. So anyway, can't fire me from this job, at least not yet. So yeah, I feel like it's something like smaller, but it's this idea of like pulling yourself in so that you're protected, but you do it to the point where you can't evolve or not like go forward. It can mess and keep you stationary, which could mess with your mood and your emotions. And so it's almost like if you do this too much, you're going to end up here this week. And like I said, it's a 1 week reading. So like this could be something simple, like you saying, well, I don't want to do that during a meeting because it directly affects you in some way and makes you feel like it's threatening your devotion to your family. Like the hours are going to suck or something like that. And thinking about yourself and worrying because nobody else is, right? Which is fine. I'm not saying you're being self-centered or bad. Then, because you have so much invested in it, I used to do this all the time. You say what you want, but you do it way too like emotionally, or like it sounds like a charged tone to it. And if I do that, like this has to happen now, bros, it could be like, the world is losing oxygen. And I say, we need to get more oxygen now. And I swear, man, like over half the people that are in earshot are going to be like, we don't need that oxygen. Shut her up. It's weird. They're like, you don't get to say what you want. Okay. If you're that type of personality where people do that to you, man, it's tricky. It's tricky. And you got to take it case by case, and it sucks. And sometimes you handle it better than other times, or at least that's how I go. So a lot of times I would like say what I needed, and everybody would be like, whoa, she's being way too big for her britches. And then I'd get like smacked down. Or, you know, the next time I wasn't able to interject as quickly because everybody made such a big deal about me getting emotional that one time. You know, that kind of stuff is what it's feeling like. And so this is all stuff you can change. The main thing that you can change with all of this is pulling that energy back to yourself, rooting down into the earth, and just taking care of your lane and the stuff you're devoted to. The stuff that's coming through feels more like an inconvenience and less of like a catastrophic thing. So try to keep things in perspective when you really start to like go to like a, you know, an 11 on the 1 to 10 scale of your emotional like reserve of this is life. I'm so flipping wrapped up in this. It's affecting me emotionally. That is when you need to really root down and talk to your guides and say, please help me move forward, okay? They will help you find the balance that you need this week. Still look out for yourself, of course, always, especially in the workplace. My gosh, no one's going to take care of you but you in the workplace. Unless you're some kind of an asset that they absolutely cannot live without. And here's the other thing. Even if you are an asset that they cannot live without, they take advantage of them too. The workforce has just gotten horrible. And so, just the last 6 years have been so rough for like workplace yuckiness as far as I'm concerned. So, anyhow, you don't want to get boxed in with that 8 of Swords of not knowing where to move forward. You can also get like blinded by your emotions, even though she doesn't have a blind spot here. This is what this story in this card's telling me. If you live out, because usually it's a chick that's blindfolded and she's got all these swords around her and she doesn't know which way to go because she's scared she's going to cut herself, right? This one feels like she's out la-di-dying, taking pictures of the Christmas trees with her camera phone and has no idea that right behind her is a whole herd of very wild, very big, very prickly-hatted fellows standing behind her. Now, you might think that's not going to happen. If you live out where I live, you know that definitely can happen. Where you're busy looking at the sky, or you're busy and all of a sudden there's that rattlesnake down there and you're like, what? So same thing. I almost walked right up on top of a whole herd of deer. There's like 7 of them, like bucks, does, and kids. Not kids, those are goats. Fawns, yeah. And they all jumped up, you know, as soon as they saw me, and I hadn't seen them. And like the first 2 that jumped up, I saw them, was like, oh, those are bucks. Those are big. They could kill me. The does could kill me too. There's babies there, so the does will definitely kill you. And then all the does and babies hopped up, and I was like, oh, I got to go back inside. What was I thinking? Not looking where I was going. So it feels like that, like not being boxed in, but not seeing what is in front of you or behind you that might become negative or startling or affect you in some negative way. And so your guides are saying to take care of yourself always, but keep your wits about you. Keep moving forward. Okay. Even though things can feel overwhelming, especially like, I feel like that sense of whenever something comes down the pike where you're like, I really was looking forward to that. And, you know, this was going to be okay. This devotion thing was going to be okay. And now you're taking that away from me. It's screwing with my emotions so hard. You can't even imagine. And so your guides are saying to put your head down and just stay in your lane. This is the one where the guy's just hunched over the pentacles, working, and then he gets rewarded at the end for all of his hard work. This is like the stag coming forward to show you the way. And the way is to this, you know, salvation for yourself, which is to just keep your head down and not get too mired down in what everybody else is doing. Even if it does affect you, try to ground yourself so that you can handle it calmly, so that you can negotiate calmly, so that, you know, you get what I'm saying. And then 6 of Wands for the end of the week, you are going to pull it off. And the way that you pull it off, because you're being mindful of how you say things and how you think of them and how you are weighing what's going on in your life right now for this week, you are going to be admired by many for your fortitude, for your communication skills, for your general awesomeness. Okay? And with that, I shall leave you. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. I will see you in the next one, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, group 4. So if you picked the cute little Christmas tree with all the trimmings, let's go ahead and get into the week ahead. We have wisdom. Good for you. I need to get me some of that. And divinity. again, we are watching this during, or I'm filming this during the holiday season. And so anytime I see the word divinity, instead of knowing the actual definition right off the top of the head, I think of it as the dessert. But this is about like being like finding the state of divine, possibly studying like divine. The divine in this sense is like whatever created us, whatever benevolent force is out there looking over us, whatever God is, whatever. It could be just the study of religion, okay, or theology. It can also be just being in a state of divineness, or like what they used to refer to as like Christ's divinity. I think people have told me after they've been baptized that they feel that divine feeling. Okay, so let's go ahead and see why these are it's like, wow, this week is here's some serious critters. Y'all are very spiritual in this group 4, and your whole goal in life, not just this week, is to find the divine, to find your purpose, to find the wisdom that you need to be the most well-rounded soul that you can be, to do the things that you came here to this earth to do, to I don't know the words. Yeah, just like devoting your life to it. It's not like you're living in a monastery. Meanwhile, this person in a monastery like stops and looks around suspiciously, like making sure no one's watching them watch their YouTube videos. Sorry. I just love picturing things like that. But anyway, you care about gaining the wisdom that you need to accomplish the purpose that you were sent on earth to do. If it's not in alignment with that, it feels like a waste of time to you. I like that about you. Okay, let's go ahead. So, I mean, that's just like your sole focus this week. Like, but I think that's just how you are all the time. You might be more focused on it this week because of certain circumstances that are going on, but this is just kind of how you are. We have Ace of Wands, 9 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. Don't worry, we'll scooch these all around and you know the score. 6 of Cups, the Empress, 9 of Swords, and I want this bottom one. King of Pentacles. Okay, let me scooch these all, knock my camera around. Ooh, what? Yes. It's hard to look cool punching this way. Okay. We'll use this one over here just so we can get to it later. Scooch these a little bit more until they fit. Okay. So at the Ace of Wands, I'm feeling like with this week, you're learning something new. Even though you're already very studious and you've always been looking for the divine, you are in a study now that you are very, very, stuff's happening, right? It's like you're like in apprentice mode. And whenever I think of apprentices, I always think of the little Mickey Mouse character when he was like the little sorcerer's apprentice, and then he messes everything up by making too many brooms to help him clean, and then it just gets out of hand. And I was like, man, I would just keep refining that spell until I got it right, because I definitely don't want to clean my own house. But anyway, it's like you have this new stuff that you're learning, but it's like exciting, and things are happening already. Things are actually working in that regard. So you've had some kind of spiritual newness coming towards you this week, especially. It is definitely on its way. So if you don't feel it yet, it's coming soon, like tomorrow. 9 of Wands is your guide saying just not to sacrifice too much, to take care of your own self, Okay. And that's the best way to come up on top. So you don't want to be the last one just holding the bag, they say, with that 9 of Wands. And so your guides are basically like showing that you work so hard for this that you end up kind of feeling like this card isn't a very... I'm going with the original meaning of tarot for these cards until I get feelings for them. Notice how there's no one in charge of this buggy, and we don't see anybody else in charge of the other buggy. It seems as though, you know, you feel like the 9 of Wands traditionally is a guy just standing there on guard by himself, and he's beat up, he's like injured, but he still has to stand his post. So like, I feel like your guides are saying not to string yourself out by going so hardcore, full force forward. That like, a lot of times, and I'm like this, when you feel like you are onto something, it's like, we must go forward and get this done now, when really part of the learning experience is the journey there, etc. and so forth. So your guides are saying just not to string yourself out, to kind of get some balance. This is just the beginning. You got a whole world ahead of you. Okay, and that's just in this lifetime. If you believe in that sort of thing. 6 of Cups is about remembering simpler times of your past. So your guides are saying to do that, to try to take some time to have some like silliness in your life, some goofiness, some just lighthearted fun, so that you're not just totally like mired down with this constant search for answers, this constant search for meaning, etc. and so forth. And that balance will bring you Empress vibes. It's not going to take you away from what you're trying to do. It's going to bring you closer. She's like a goddess of the earth, right, in this card. It's going to make you even more divine here on earth to find that balance and to work with it. Okay. Sometimes when you make decisions about your spirituality, or you feel like you have to like make a decision about how you feel about something, it can feel kind of like scary, or because you're worried about being wrong. Don't worry about that. Some of you are having trouble at night, like maybe feeling like there's something there with you that you don't feel is positive. And that makes you feel like maybe you haven't been like faithful enough, that darkness is coming after you because you weren't towing the line spiritually. Your guys are saying that that's not true, that that's your anxiety. It's a feeling. It's not somebody that's actually there, and it's not like a diagnosis of something that you have. Okay. And then lastly, for the week, we have the King of Pentacles, which is about slowly, classy, abundantly giving. She's about abundance too. So you got these 2 abundance cards coming. As long as you can just kind of find a balance. You're so, from what I can see, from what your guides are showing me, it's like you're very, 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 very wrapped up in that like energy of figuring things out, doing the right thing, being a spiritual, just person. And you need to hear, I think, that you already have accomplished that goal, because nobody becomes all of a sudden just, you know, everything and that's it, and there's nothing left to do, right? And so the fact that you're just willing to constantly like make your life about that search for that divine energy, that is never going to go away, even if you're silly sometimes, even if you take a break, okay? Even if you quote unquote sin from time to time. Some people can get really strict about like what their beliefs are. For example, I'm going to put 3 different like religious beliefs into the mix here, just so that nobody feels left out. And then all the people that feel left out can tell me, you didn't talk about that one group you don't know anything about. Like, I don't know what they do at Christmas time. I have no idea. I barely know what I do at Christmas time, but it's sort of like when I was little, we went to like Christian church, and they were very much like against like women wearing makeup at one of the churches that we went to, which was fine because we were all little and our mom didn't wear makeup. But One day I came to church and I had like a little gold, it wasn't even real gold, it was just a little gold teddy bear necklace that my grandma gave me that had like a little birthstone. My birthstone was in its tummy. And so I wore it to church one day because I wore it every day until it fell off me, right? And I had never heard anybody say this in any of the sermons, but it was like all the kids were like, oh, that's decorating yourself. That's like wearing makeup. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're all wearing necklaces. These are crosses. If it's not crosses, then it's bad. You know, that kind of deal. And I'm like, I can't. I was like, geez Louise, I can't even wear a teddy bear. This is during the 80s and 90s when like people would like see a yin yang earring or like the Ankh symbol and be like, you're Satanists and you're worshiping Satan. Yes. Did I ever tell you guys about how my husband and I call, like, anytime, not not the actual dark being of the underworld, but just the overhanging threat of Satan, right? Of the Satan that was running the show, as far as our parents were concerned, back in the 80s and 90s, that they thought he was sneaking into the music, the TV, everything. And maybe he did. Maybe he's here with us right now, but you know, none of us were inviting that, right? And they were like, you're going to accidentally do it. And it's like, I remember always thinking like, okay, why is it so easy to get the devil to come in accidentally? You don't even have to intend to let him show up, and here he is. But you can pray and pray and pray and pray, and like the bad stuff still happened, you know? Like I remember having a really hard time with that. So anyway, it's like this idea of those guys, you know, when they were giving me a hard time for my necklace, they were just trying to be closer to God. But instead of just working on themselves to get there, they instead started doing the hen picking. Who in the little hen house doesn't look like, look over there, that one's not as evolved as we are. Get it, you know? Like that kind of feeling. The other example I had in my mind was like, oh yeah, like I study Qigong. And I mean, I do not have any aspirations to become like a master of Qigong or anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out how to be healthier. But there's a lot of rules in Qigong, you know, and I will eventually start to get fed up with them and want to rebel against those rules. I know I'm not supposed to, and maybe I shouldn't, and maybe I won't, and maybe I will. I don't know yet. But if there's something to rebel against, I'm going to try it probably at least once. And so like I get fed up with like, and paganism has these too, where it's the same type of deal. You say something negative and they say, you shouldn't say things like that. It's really, really bad. It can manifest very negative energy, etc. and so forth. And it's like, okay, Charlotte, so how come me doing all these meditations and affirmations and spells and seances and whatever else you want to talk about, why is that not bringing me those swift, fast, instant results of negativity that are always promised to us if we just accidentally say the wrong word or accidentally like hold the wrong like rock or whatever? You know, you see what I'm saying? So, and I'm not like knocking anybody for feeling that way. I just can't follow all those rules. Because if I was following all those rules, I wouldn't be able to have any fun, and I wouldn't learn as much, because I learn new things by kind of stepping outside the lines often. Okay. I try not to be flip about it, but I'm going to, you know, people say, hey, you need to do this, that, and the other. And I'll say, okay, sounds good. And then I go do what I want to do. Just because they gave me advice. I hear them out, but it's not like I have to do what they're suggesting. It works really well for them. It might not work for me, you know? So anyway, that being said, your guides are saying to find a balance between like that super serious stuff of like, this is about, you know, our souls and, you know, our creator and our spirit guides and the earth and each other. And it's very, very true. But we wouldn't have such wicked little senses of humor if like our creator didn't give them to us. We wouldn't have a mechanism within our body that creates laughter if we weren't supposed to laugh and be silly sometimes. And so that's the message that I have coming through for you for this week. I feel like you're just kind of like this all the time. I'm really not getting any other energies. And so with that, I think I'm going to let it go here. But one thing that your guides do want you to know is that just because you know, are being told to do things a little bit differently by them right now. They also want you to understand that you are so much closer to the divine than most people because you think about it that much. Most people don't think about life that hard. You know, most people are just like, day to day, what do I have to accomplish today before I get to go to eat? And then eventually go to bed and start all over again and do it again. I wish I was one of those people. I feel like their lives are so much happier. But your guides are saying you're already leagues ahead of your fellows. Just every other person around you. If we were to pick 2 people out of a crowd of 1,000,000, you'd beat out that person next to you for being more spiritual and more attuned and more close to the divine than them because you just are that devoted to finding it. And with that, I will leave you with their praise for being that way. You will find your wisdom. You will move forward. Part of finding that wisdom is just finding your balance as you go. And I think that you are doing that. I don't even think you really need that much advice. So thank you, Group 4, for being here. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, we'll see you next time. Take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.